Hello, welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. This is your host, episode 195. This is your host, Sean Tutor.
And this is Sam.
Dude, I fucking was all
You're all frazzled now, aren't you?
frazzled.
Today's a Tutor episode where we try to teach you something new. Sean, what's our topic?
The 7 deadly sins.
Hell yeah. Sean and I were on a walk this morning and we were talking about karma.
We were.
So it kind of made me think about the 7 deadly sins while we were talking about that. So, should we just jump right into it?
Let's go.
Okay. If you didn't know, it actually originated with 8 sins.
Yep.
What did he actually call them? Evil thoughts.
8 evil thoughts.
Yep.
By who?
The monk, Evagrius Ponticus.
Evagrius Ponticus. When was this?
The 4th century.
The 4th century.
Yes.
So the 7 deadly sins actually are not in the Old Testament or the New Testament. They're not in the Bible at all. They were made, so they originated from these 8. But then who was the one that made them into 7 deadly sins?
It was Pope Gregory the First.
And that was when?
In 590 AD.
590. Okay.
So, we'll start with the 8, shall we?
Let's do it.
So it originated with gluttony,
Okay.
prostitution, fornication.
That was the gluttony. It was prostitute.
No, prostitution, fornication. That's current day lust.
So we had gluttony, lust.
No. Oh, gluttony, lust, yes.
Well, gluttony, prostitution, fornication. Okay.
Yep. Avarice, which is greed.
Okay.
Sadness. And then it said it also could have been envy. Wrath.
They said the sadness, because sadness is not being sad. It's about not living in the present and dwelling on the past. And like living in the past and being sad you didn't.
Yeah, because it also says next to it, sadness at another's good fortune. So yeah, envy.
Yep.
Wrath, acedia, rendered in the Philokalia as dejection. Interesting.
The fuck's that word mean?
Dejection?
Yeah.
Like to be dejected?
That helped.
Is a mental state of low mood and aversion to activity.
So that'd be like sloth.
Yeah.
Dejection's like sloth. Okay.
Yep. Boasting.
Pride.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is funny because then the next one is pride. Or sometimes rendered as self-overestimation, arrogance, or grandiosity.
Grandiosity. All right. What the fuck is boasting then if it's not pride?
Probably lust, greed, despair, wrath, sloth. Vainglory. Being vain.
Like the song "You're So Vain." You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I bet you think this song is about you, don't you?
Anyways.
Don't you? Right? That song.
Yeah. So that's what we started with, is 8. And then Pope Gregory the First revised it, and it is what it is now. So now it's, let's see. Sorry, I got lots of stuff going on. So the 7 now are pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, sloth. And then there's also the contrary is the 7 capital virtues.
Of the way you should think. All right. What are those?
Those are chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, humility.
Fuck.
Okay, let's start.
Let's do it.
Lust. Should we do that one first? Good, because that's what it starts with. So lust is an intense longing. It is usually thought of as intense or unbridled sexual desire. which may lead to fornication, rape, bestiality, and other sinful and sexual acts.
Jesus
Man,
Christ.
I love Wikipedia.
Fucking rips.
I feel like lust is pretty self-explanatory.
Lust is wanting.
I think another thing to take into consideration of now is Shaun and I call them affairs more than cheating. It's when you reach out to someone for
Emotional.
yes, thank you, emotional support, or just emotional anything.
Because you're suffering from emotional damage. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So that's, I think, going to be more common nowadays is
Affairs.
There is also a lot of cheating, but I think like that definitely goes into lust, is the emotional part.
I think lust. Yeah, lust can be both affair and like.
Yeah, physical, yeah.
Physical and affair, yeah. Yeah.
Random fact. They did a study on people that get cancer, and if they end up in a divorce afterwards, it was more likely that if the woman got sick, the man would divorce the woman.
Really?
It was like 30% chance, like 30% of women that got cancer, the man divorced them. Because they couldn't, like, handle being, like, tied down or, like, any of that. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
So anyways, just in case you're curious.
What happened the other 70% of the time?
I don't know. I didn't read a whole lot into the study. I just, like, was reading that if you're a woman who got sick, you're more likely for your partner to leave you. But who knows if, like, they said they were going to or they didn't, like, right, like, if they would have, but you ended up passing away instead, right? Like, it didn't talk about any of that.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Just fun fact.
Beauty.
Any more on lust?
No.
Cool. Gluttony is the overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste.
Yes. This is fucking huge, dude.
Ooh, there's 5 forms of gluttony.
Let's hear it.
I'm really gonna apologize if I butcher these and you know what they actually are. So there's lauta, which is eating too expensively.
Oh.
Studios, eating too daintily.
What the fuck's that mean?
Daintily? Like, probably gently, or I'm guessing too eagerly. Yeah. Gently.
Daintily? I could see that being like
Maybe too slow.
either too slow or too picky.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Nimis, eating too much.
Yeah.
Prepare, eating too soon. Ardentier, eating too eagerly.
Too excited to eat. All right, let me break this down for you. In our society, we eat and we drink for emotional support. We do not eat for fuel anymore. Most people don't, except for, some bodybuilders and some high-level athletes. Most people eat for emotion. That's why the obesity rate is through the goddamn roof. And they're eating like this. This is one thing. So the first one is eating too expensively. Dude, that is facts. We talk about going to Aldi and shopping at Aldi and like eating within our means and keeping our budget low. And guess what? Most of their food's better quality. We talk about going to meat markets, like small town meat markets, getting meat cheaper than like anywhere else you can get meat, and it's all sourced by local farmers.
Right. Our bacon was so cheap.
Dude, it tastes so fucking good.
Yeah. Because it's like what, usually $7.50 a pound?
Yeah, bacon's around like $7 a pound, something like that.
And what do we get it at?
$4.99. Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's like thick, good bacon. Anyways, so we talk the number one about like not wasting money on food, and people love to waste money on food.
Starbucks.
Dude.
Getting fancy coffees.
Fuck yeah.
I didn't get one today.
Proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't either.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the second part was daintily.
Mm-hmm.
So that could either be like picky eating or eating too slow.
I think so, right? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't got much for eating too slow. I will say this.
We are very picky eaters now. Oh my god.
You and I?
No, not like the population in general.
So I was like, what do you mean we're picky eaters?
I mean, technically we are, because we have a hard time even eating store-bought meat now.
Yeah, we're picky eaters in the fact that we quit eating shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we are really starting to figure out what makes us feel good and what makes us not feel good. And we've really, really been straying away from shit. And a lot less store-bought stuff, processed stuff, and a lot more home-cooked things. After 75 hard, I will definitely eat sweets again. But I'm thinking the majority of it will be home-baked.
Yeah.
All right, so the thing about being too picky, you guys have to broaden your horizon and get out of the eating for taste, eating for emotion, and eat for fuel. Mm-hmm. That's why we eat the same fucking shit every day, because it's good fuel and it doesn't fuck us up.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather feel good from like having good quality food for 95% of the day versus eating something that tastes really good but then feeling like shit right after.
Yep.
Ugh.
Dude, yeah, oh yeah, big time. All right, so next.
Are we going to go through each one of those?
Yeah, just real quick.
Okay, eating too much.
Oh, dude.
Obvious.
Everyone's eating too much. You gotta fucking chill out, guys. Stay within a calorie deficit if you're too fucking fat, which most of you are. What else you got?
Eating too soon.
Eating too soon. Dude.
Snacking.
Snacking?
Mm-hmm.
You're technically not supposed to eat unless you're hungry.
Dude, and I snack all the time.
Yeah. Unless you're trying to hit a calorie count, you're an athlete, etc., you should only be eating when you're hungry.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to not even eat when you're hungry. Mm-hmm. And to fast.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's good to do that.
Guys, did you know breakfast is called breakfast because you're breaking your fast?
I fucking love that, dude.
Anyways. Eating too eagerly. This one I think is also very true right now, because if you eat too fast, you fill yourself up to like way more than you should.
Yeah, so yeah, eating too eagerly, which is just like excited eating, pounding food. You eat way more than you need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once again, the only people that should be doing this are people that are trying to hit a certain calorie amount or athletes of some sort for fueling their body.
Yep.
Next, so we just knocked out lust, knocked out gluttony. What are we up to now?
Greed.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do you got?
Greed is so big right now. The sin of desire, like lust and gluttony. However, greed is applied to any artificial desire as well as the pursuit of material possessions. I do like that they say like material possessions, because like there are definitely people out there that will like fight someone for something. Remember there was like people at Walmart fighting each other because someone got like the last box of Pokemon cards?
Yeah. Greed is huge.
Look at our government.
The most greedy shit out there.
100% it is.
Is all the people that run the government are by far the most greedy people. You look at the Black Rocks of the world. You look at like all the people that are like the head of what they claim to be like the court of owls, right? Like George Soros, things like that. That's greed. Mm-hmm. Now, you see it. I actually think you see greed. So that's like the top 1% of the 1%. I actually think you see greed worse when you get to the average person than when people have some money. Mm-hmm. Because people that know how to make money, or people who do make money, it's almost like their hobby. Mm-hmm. And the prize for their hobby is acquiring things, buying nice things, right?
Right.
But when you see someone poor or in poverty, and you take something little of theirs, or something little of theirs just taken away, you see a very, very nasty side of people.
Yeah.
That's greed.
Yep.
And those are the same people who like talk bad about the 1% and talk bad about people doing good for themselves. And it must be nice.
Oh, I hate the must be nicers.
Those people are more greedy than anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
I believe. Mm-hmm. And that's going to tie right into envy later on.
Yeah, well.
But greed is horrible. You have to find something better in your life to drive you than money. Mm-hmm. You can want money, right? Like, you can want money and not be greedy because you want a better life. You want to raise your standard of living. You want to help.
You want to raise the standard of living of the people around you.
Yep. Things like that is where you can want something and not be greedy.
Yeah.
But when it's like with a negative intent or it's nasty behavior, greed's involved.
Yeah. They also say hoarding in here, which I think is interesting.
Hoarding is number one greedy. Mm-hmm. That's the most greedy thing, is hoarding, because you're so attached to materialistic things. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sloth. This refers to a peculiar jumble of notions dating from antiquity and including mental, spiritual, pathological, and physical states. It may be defined as absence of interest or habitual disinclination to exertion. Oh my gosh, we are going through that right now because people do not want to get fucking jobs and do work.
Sloth is huge right now. Convenience, right? Mm-hmm. So sloth is like getting Uber Eats.
Yes.
That's like ordering food is like sloth 101.
Mm-hmm. I think Instacart too.
Yeah.
A lot of people at work do Instacart. Anyways.
So let me say this about that. Mm-hmm. I think if you're a high-level performer who has a lot of systems set up and you're utilizing ordering food, Instacart, etc., as a means to be more productive, that is not sloth.
Yeah.
Okay? You hire out your cleaning of your house, your lawn mowing, your maintenance, because you are spending that time improving yourself, spending time doing things with your family, activities. You're doing higher income earning activities to bring in more money, things like that. All of that is not sloth.
Yeah.
Sloth is this. You're sitting on your ass playing video games, watching Netflix, playing with your fucking dinghy, smoking vape, whatever it is, and you're too fucking lazy to get your ass up and go out, fucking hop in your car and drive somewhere or go for a walk or something. And so instead you sit on your lazy, fat fucking ass playing with yourself and you order your fucking food in. Mm-hmm. That's sloth.
Yes.
And we see sloth so much in today's labor market with the fucking, dude, the fact of what some contractors are charging now. Because there's a shortage of them.
Yeah.
Somehow there's a fucking 1,000 goddamn contractors in the area, and there's still a shortage of the motherfuckers charging 75 plus an hour. And it's like, dude, if we got some more people who weren't so goddamn lazy, you'd bring that down.
Yeah, you would. Next. You got any more on that?
No, that's what I got for sloth.
My God, they have like a lot for sloth. But
what else we got? We can touch on a few things.
Well, that means I have to read it.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I think, yeah, what do you got?
Emotional sloth. Expression and a lack of any feeling for the world, for people in it, or for the self. Oh my gosh, we just talked about that too. These fucking psychopath kids who keep shooting up people in schools.
Sam and I were on a walk here last week, and there was one girl, we think she was middle school.
No, I think she was like early high school, 14, 15.
Okay. She walked by us, never once looked up from her phone, nothing.
Just glued to it.
The whole time.
And we had Mimi with us. I remember being in high school, I was always so excited to see a dog.
100%. I remember being my age now and being so excited to see a dog still.
Do it every time that we, like, a lot of times if we didn't have Mimi with us on a walk, like, we would love to go pet every single dog.
In the mornings, we would. If we didn't take her some mornings when she was still snoozing.
Yeah.
Then the second kid, no phone, same age. Dude just fucking stone cold stare straight ahead. Did not acknowledge us, did not acknowledge Mimi. Didn't just walked
like a robot. Like,
yeah,
he was like, I felt like we were in the zombie apocalypse and like we were the only ones who weren't abducted.
It was the weirdest shit ever, dude.
It was too creepy. I don't like it.
I don't know what's wrong with kids or what's happening with the school system, the parenting, but we're gonna need to figure that the fuck out, because we're gonna be in for a real world of pain in about 5 years. But you know what? That goes right into the strong men create good times create weak men create hard times create strong men create good times create weak men.
Yep.
You know,
we're definitely going into the hard times.
Yeah, oh, for sure. So, well, yeah, because strong men create good times, weak men. Yeah, we're in hard times.
Yeah. It goes along with like these kids doing these shootings. Like they obviously have no remorse for those people's families or anything. Like there's something mentally wrong with them that they are not emotionally connected to other people and other people's feelings. It's a very weird time right now.
100%. So yes, that's another good thing of sloth.
Yeah. Okay, next, wrath. This is another thing going on right now.
With the shootings.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, right.
Defined as uncontrolled feelings of anger, rage, and even hatred. I think, wrath often reveals itself in the wish to seek vengeance. That's definitely happening with these, any kind of protest or whatever. It's full of a whole bunch of people that feel like they're owed the world, or like, right, the world owes them something.
Right.
And they think all these other people are harming them or causing them to not get what they're owed. And no offense, we're not owed anything.
So, wrath, clarity.
Yeah.
Wrath would be like unwarranted anger.
Yeah. Which, if you listen to other podcasts, is definitely a major cause of it right now is these foods and chemicals and everything we have disrupting hormones. So, like a lot of men, their testosterones are way too low and their estrogen is high. Estrogen is an emotional hormone.
Emotional hormone.
Damage. Yeah. So with all these men with a higher testosterone than women, and then also high estrogen, that's what's making them making them angry and just not being able to control it.
Guys, so this is the roid rage thing, right? Roid rage comes from this. Rage is not from the steroid.
No.
Roid rage is from an imbalance in hormones. And so a lot of people don't know, a lot of people that get on steroids don't know what anti-inhibitors are, AIs. AIs are the things that regulate your estrogen or progesterone, okay? And depending on what kind of anabolic steroids you take depends on if it affects your progesterone levels or your estrogen levels, which progesterone and estrogen are a lot more emotional hormones, right? So when you take, so if you have high testosterone, the higher your testosterone gets, the higher your estrogen goes, unless you take an AI to inhibit the uptake, the uptick of your estrogen. And so roid rage happens when people take steroids like testosterone or, you know, some level of testosterone, tren, D-bol, whatever it is, and your testosterone increases and your estrogen also increases. And so with your estrogen increasing, you become a lot more emotional, but you also have a shit ton of testosterone, which is like the fucking man hormone.
Yeah.
So now you have a fucking very strong, cranked up man who is as emotional or more emotional than a woman on her period. And so if you just think about that for a second, take a female on her period and then times her testosterone by...
Probably 5 times right now.
No. 10, 20x. 10 to 20x easy.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
10 to 20x easy of a woman's testosterone while she's on her period. Mm-hmm. And if she had that base of testosterone all the time, what the fuck would happen? Mm-hmm. Beat the shit out of people.
Oh, yeah.
Would freak out.
Oh, yeah.
And so, right now with all the hormones in our foods and shit like that, seed oils, all that stuff, not getting outside, not exercising, fluoride in our waters, chlorine in our waters, all that stuff. Men's testosterone is getting lower. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the estrogen is getting higher from soy products and things like that. And so men who do have more estrogen, who do have more testosterone than women normally, so they are stronger, more like what's the word I'm looking for? Like to the point, like straight to the point, like a logical.
Oh yeah.
Now are getting that estrogen, which is removing the logic, and now they have the man to just fucking the man strength to do bad shit.
Yeah.
So anyways, that whole thing right now with our society, we are making men have more wrath, especially older dudes, you know, fucking baby boomer guys drinking beer every fucking night, shit like that, not taking care of their bodies, eating processed foods. Dude, those people ain't helping us too much either with they got to get that shit figured out, take care of themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
That's why, dude. I bet you that's why. Remember I told you before when I used to work in the machine shop. Grown men in their 40s, 50s, 60s bitch more than fucking women, I swear. Mm-hmm. These fucking guys, dude, because everyone should know your testosterone decreases as you age, typically, unless you do a lot of things to counteract that. But as you age, your bone density, your muscle density, and your testosterone decrease. And so, and the exact opposite happens with women. Mm-hmm. As women age, their testosterone increases, estrogen decreases. Yeah. So that's why you almost get more illogical, emotional men as they age, while women become more logical and less emotional as they age.
Yeah, don't women usually peak at 40?
For what?
Just in general, because men, they say men peak at 25, 30. Because that's where their testosterone's the highest and they're the clearest thinking.
No, women's testosterone go up even higher after their 40s and their 50s.
But I think because then you're not menopausal yet. I don't know. I think like I guess I'm trying to talk about like looks and stuff. Women like peak at like 40. That might be wrong. Anyways, continue.
I don't know, dude. There's some hot ass 20-year-olds out there, like like in the 20s.
Yeah, they're emotional.
Emotional. That's the crazy hot matrix. Oh my god. All right. So wrath.
Yes. Yes, so men in their 40s and 50s and 60s, because they're eating all these soy products and they're not used to their estrogen being so high, it's causing them to be like very like short, like have short fuses and just freak out over stupid little shit. And then as their body like ages more and they get kind of used to it, I think is when they get less angry all the time. Yeah,
that's definitely possible. And kids now who never fully developed their testosterone, never fully developed as men, have really high estrogen. That's where we're getting the real issues of like these fucking crazy liberal like men who aren't men, who think they're women, start going on the trans conversation, all that shit. But that's a big thing there of kids not being fucking raised right with their hormones.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think too, wrath is getting to be more of an issue because physical labor isn't as much of like there's not as many physical labor jobs now as there used to be, because it's a lot of people sitting at computer desks not doing anything. So before, like the majority of the population were doing physical labor jobs, which would keep their testosterone high. But now probably most of the population is sedentary, which lowers your testosterone automatically.
There's a couple ways we could go with this too.
How far are we going into this?
Give me 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm watching the clock.
Men are typical hunters and fighters. In the last couple 100 years, we have moved out a lot of men being the hunters and the gatherers, and the main
providers.
Thank you, the main provider of the family. That level of going out, getting shit done, killing things, fighting, whatever, to provide for the family, definitely is increasing your testosterone, increasing your work ethic, making you proud of who you are and what you're doing. And then you're providing and supplying for your family so that everybody lives because of your manliness, right? Your masculinity.
Yeah.
And so because we don't have those things, I think it's very important to do things that simulate war, essentially. Like hard exercising.
Yeah.
Manual labor jobs. Hunting, fishing, providing, business, right?
Yeah.
All these things provide like going out and getting after it and fighting every day, and then like providing for your family. I think like in today's day and age, you almost have to figure out how to put those things of masculinity into your day so that you don't become a soy boy.
Yeah.
So you don't become a problem.
Yeah.
So that's what I got on wrath.
Okay. You made it just in time. Envy. This is characterized by an insatiable desire like greed and lust. It can be described as a sad or resentful covetousness towards the traits or possessions of someone else. Comes from vainglory and severs a man from his neighbor. Envy. So this is something that I think you kind of touched on with the it must be nice attitude. And I think this is also becoming a kind of a big all of these are really becoming big issues right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
The whole country is just gonna die.
No, the world.
Yeah.
But mostly the country.
Let's see. Malicious envy is similar to jealousy in that they both feel discontent towards someone's traits, status, abilities, or rewards. A difference is that the envious also desire the entity and covet it. What'd you get?
All right. This goes into our karma conversation we had earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you hope and wish for people to fail, if you hope and wish for people to not succeed, you are talking that into the universe, and that will play its role for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Before, when I was younger, if I did not like somebody because they were mean to me, rude to me, whatever it was, I would hope for like them to not be successful or for their demise, right? As I age and learn more about this shit, in the last few years for sure, I just quit giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I don't envy people. I don't, like, I look at people, no matter who they are, and I go, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's cool. Like, you're able to do that. You make that kind of money. That's awesome. You have these things. That's cool. I look at people that I like, that have, like, similar values to me, that also have nice things, like nice material things. They're doing great things for the world. And I look up to those people, and I want to strive to be more like them.
Yes.
I don't like envy them. I don't ever think like, wow, must be nice to have that fucking new Corvette or whatever it is. Like, must be nice to be able to afford a Ferrari. Never. I think about how awesome it is that they take their value system they've built through their discipline. Okay, discipline's huge. Mm-hmm. And they've built something that I look up to as like heroes. And so I think there's a huge difference. No, I know there's a huge difference between looking at somebody as a hero, as somebody you're striving to be more like because of their like standards and values they set, compared to looking at somebody, and it could be the same fucking person, right? It's just how you perceive them, and going, must be nice you have the fucking big house. Must be nice you can go on vacation, right? Like, looking at them and thinking, man, if only I could fucking work 30 hours a week and
make 40 grand.
Or have a Porsche or whatever the fuck, right? Like, envy and looking at what people are doing and hoping for, like, their demise, or thinking, like, they're the problem, not you, right? They must have undercut someone. They must have done something bad.
They must have gotten, like, a handout from their parents.
Right. Anything like that. To make them, to, like, to justify in your mind why they have that and you don't. I will say this on it, though. Even if people are doing it wrong, okay? People are screwing people over. People are wrongfully getting their successes. Do not wish bad on them, because that negative energy out into the world will come back to you. Somehow it's going to come back to you. All you can do is just have faith that karma and energy in the world will dictate what happens to that individual and what happens to you.
Do you have more?
No, go for it.
It's looking at someone and either being jealous at them or finding motivation in it. In short man's terms. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow, that was said way fucking more concise.
You kept going. I wasn't going to stop you.
Good job, babe.
Pride. I suppose. I forget I have to read the definitions for you. It is considered the original and worst of the 7 deadly sins on almost every list. Pride is the opposite of humility. Pride is identified as dangerously corrupt, selfishness, putting one's own desires, urges, wants, and whims before the welfare of others. Dante's definition of pride was love of self perverted to hatred and contempt for one's neighbor. I like how they Sean and I were kind of curious about this one because we're like, man, shouldn't you like be confident in yourself? But how they say like the selfishness, putting one's own desires, urges, and wants and whims before the welfare of others.
You know what this is? This is a white belt in jiu-jitsu compared to like a brown belt or a black belt.
Oh, because the white belts like are trying to prove themselves, even though they don't need to.
A lot of the time, dude, I've seen this multiple times. The white belts have an ego, and they go really hard to prove that somehow they're worthy, right? Meanwhile, a brown belt or a black belt, they don't have anything to prove.
No.
They don't have ego. They're just there doing their thing, trying to make other people better and make themselves better. And so they're not trying to hurt people.
Yeah.
They're not trying to overpower you, anything like that, right? And so I see that, like when you're talking about that, I see that in jiu-jitsu 100%. What I also see with that is there's a lot of people, and you guys have obviously seen these type of people. They're like the asshole bully jocks.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. Where people with egos are just looking for external validation. And so they're looking for validation from other people for what they're doing is right or wrong. And a lot of the time they don't receive it. And so that's why they act out on like their ego and do those things, because they're looking for people to, since nobody is reaffirming their actions, they reaffirm it for themselves. So pride is very, I don't like the word pride. I don't like that that's what they use.
I know, I don't either.
I think of it as ego, right?
Yeah.
As your ego waffles. Having that kind of pride and like being egotistical, things like that, is very bad for, once again, like your karma and your energy. People aren't going to want to be around you. They don't respect you. They're like uncomfortable around you. Cockiness. It's cockiness, right?
Yeah.
So being cocky, things like that. People aren't about it.
No.
Some people for showmanship, right? Like you look at Conor McGregor doing it for showmanship, shit like that. You know,
there's a difference between cocky and confidence.
Yeah. Yep, big difference between cocky and confidence. It's almost the people that are prideful are the ones that don't have the self-confidence. They're looking, they're almost trying to make confidence by being cocky, right?
I think to kind of play into that, because I really like the point of selfishness. Selfish, like being selfish. Be in an instance at work where we've been talking about how this person like never did anything wrong, but everyone else did something wrong. But they could never do wrong, and then it turned out that they were doing everything wrong.
Right.
But they were trying to just deflect the attention from themselves.
Right, by putting it on everyone else.
And I feel like that's like, I feel like that was kind of very selfish behavior, like.
Yeah, very much so.
So it's just very interesting because, yeah, you can. I don't know. You can just make fun of everyone else and be like, "Oh, I'm the best," but you're not. You're the worst usually.
Yeah. Yeah, putting blame on everyone else. All right, so that's pride.
Yeah.
Got anything else for pride?
Nope.
Is that all of them?
That's all of them. Do we want to do the quick other opposites or no?
That's the 7 deadly sins. We'll run through the opposites, and then we'll do a different podcast on just those.
Okay. Mimi's streaming, if you can hear
Did
that.
you give her an Apoquel this morning?
No.
She's all fucked up.
I know, I noticed that.
All right.
So it's really cute. So they're called the Christian 7 virtues.
Okay.
So for lust, it's chastity.
Mm-hmm.
Gluttony is temperance.
Okay.
Greed is charity or generosity.
Okay.
Sloth is diligence.
Uh-huh.
Wrath is patience.
Okay.
Envy is gratitude or kindness. And pride is humility.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. We're going to break that down to a full podcast.
Yeah, I think so, because this was 45 minutes already.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope you learned something. I hope you go out and be conscious of your actions and your thoughts and your behaviors to try to sway yourself from falling into these 7 deadly sins.
Literally, there's a post-it note above my computer that says, avoid greed, gluttony, and lust.
Yep.
Seek thanksgiving.
Do you know who wrote that?
You wrote that.
I wrote that.
I know, but it's just been hanging on my bulletin board.
Isn't that beautiful?
Mm-hmm. So keep that in mind, and next week we got the virtues.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you on the next one.
See ya.